This is the Transformers Generation Studio Series from the movie Transformers the Movie. We have Core Class Autobot Wheelie. Now, this is not the Bayverse or Nightverse figure, so I was a little bit surprised that it just says Studio Series and it doesn't say Studio Series 86. So I guess they're doing that now, I suppose. They're getting rid of the 86 and just everything's just Studio Series if it's part of a movie. Is that it? Anyway, I picked up this figure from Hobby Corner. Let's get this guy out of packaging. So here's Wheelie. I can't say I'm not disappointed. I mean, after hearing the news that he's going to be upgraded from an accessory to a core class figure, I had very high expectations for this figure. It's an okay figure, but it's not a great figure. I mean, we're already at this stage where Hasbro and Tucker told me they have all the tools they need to give us a great figure. There's a lot of the good things going for it, and at the same time, there's a lot of things that I hate about it. And I'm sure they're going to give an excuse that there's no budget, there's just very little budget. Well, get the damn budget! I mean, kuha kayo ng pera para gumawa ng laruan. Tapos presyohan nyo kung magkano talaga yung laruan na yun. I mean, oh my God, get the budget to make this figure and sell it appropriately. I mean, I'm sorry, but we're more than willing to pay good money for a very good figure instead of paying a lot of money for a figure that's not amazing. Anyway, let's take a closer look at the details of this figure. So let's kick things off with some comparisons. Here is Wheelie with the other Studio Series figures that we've gotten. We've got Hot Rod, Voyager class, Deluxe class Cup, and Leader class Grimlock. For those who wanted to know if he scales okay with Grimlock, riding Grimlock, yeah, he's okay. He's a little too big, I think, by a bit. I think the original accessory is the one in perfect scale with Grimlock, so he's a little slightly big, but it's okay. What annoys me about this figure, though, is there's no way to clamp him onto Grimlock. The neck is too thick for the legs. There's some holes right here, but they're too small to actually fit into the 5 or 3 millimeter ports. It's a 1 millimeter port, 2 millimeter port. It's just never going to fit in. It's very difficult to slot anything onto the legs. You can just sort of wedge him in and he'd stay on, but there's no way to permanently fix him onto Grimlock except through friction and just wedging him in. So that's kind of annoying. And here he is with a couple of other core class figures. We've got Soundwave and Spike. And finally, here he is with a bunch of other Wheelie figures in my collection. We've got the original accessory that came with Grimlock. Obviously, he's much better. He edges this figure by a mile simply because he transforms. Even if this guy probably has the more accurate sculpt and color, I think he's as accurate as you can get, but he transforms. So easily, this one's better than this one. This is the DNA design version from the DK upgrade kit for Grimlock. Yeah, DNA still has a lot of things to do, a lot of things to work on in terms of designing figures. They're great with upgrade kits, but when they're making their figures, they still need to do so much. They need to learn more from how Hasbro does it. So, okay, he's okay, but he's still better than him. And here is the Titans Return Legends Wheelie. For the longest time, this has been the Wheelie for most of the Generations collectors. Yeah, definitely. He looks better in terms of aesthetic, in terms of accuracy to how Wheelie looked. But as a toy, which we'll see later, and especially transformation and just overall design as a toy, I think he's still better. And like I said, with most of my Studio Series reviews, the Studio Series figures are great to display. I mean, they're fun, very accurate figures, but as a playthings, like you just want to hang on to them, like when you're trying to while away the time, you just want to fiddle with something, just transform a figure here and there. Sometimes the original figures, I think, still hold up, and I think they're much better in terms of as a toy that you can transform and just play and bring along with you than the current Studio Series versions. Articulation for the figure, the neck is on a ball joint. There is no waist or torso swivel. Shoulders are on ball joints, elbows are on ball joints, hips are on ball joints, knees are on ball joints, and hinges for the feet. No rocker tilts, no ankle tilts. Okay, I'm not. It's a core class figure. I mean, people are gonna say you can't expect everything for a core class figure, right? Now that we've cleared that, we've done all the basics. Let's talk about the figure in detail. I mean, let's begin with the kibble. I mean, in front, up front, you see him. He's great. Very accurate. I love the colors. He just pops. When you turn him around, here we go. Here's where you notice they ran out of budget. He has a big rear end that could have easily been fixed with a hinge, swivel, and fold up. And Hasbro's going to say again, oh, it's a core class. We don't have budget for that. The arms, as you can see, is very static. As you will see later in the transformation, the arms just stick out. And there's no way to get rid of the wheels and the arms. I should say the fists. They're going to stick out forever. Same with the wheels. There's no way to hide either one. And again, they're going to say it's a core class figure. Come on, give us a break. Then he's got this... this one's actually pretty nice, but it's just so tiny. His slingshot, his Energon slingshot, you could easily lose it, especially if you throw away your package immediately after taking out the figure. This thing is just wedged at the corner of that insert. If you throw things away without checking, you're gonna miss this and you're gonna lose it. And even if you do get it, it's so difficult to store this. And you probably need to put these guys in a bin, because if you keep it on the shelf and it gets knocked over, chances are this thing's gonna fly off and you're gonna lose it. Okay, feet, again, more of the kibble. And you're probably saying, why are you complaining so much on the kibble? It's a core class figure, you know, get a masterpiece figure. You don't want all the kibble. Yeah, okay, I get that, but I think we're already past this. I mean, Hasbro has come a long way in terms of engineering their figures, into doing a lot with the figures. And they keep saying the money goes to the engineering. That's why they shrunk the figures. This is a small figure. I mean, you compare it with the several years ago, Legends figures or core class figures were this big. And they're saying, okay, we had to re-engineer it. We had to invest in engineering. That's why we had to shrink it, reduce the plastic. Okay, I get that. But where's the engineering? It's a basic figure, even the transformation. I'm not hating on this figure just for the sake of hating it. It's just very disappointing, because you expect a lot of engineering at this point in time because it's a Studio Series figure and you're just not getting it. Okay, so let's transform him. I'll show you what I mean. So go ahead and open this up. You're gonna unpeg the chest, fold everything up like this. The head gets hidden underneath and it closes. That's pretty good. I do like that. I do like that bit of transformation. I think that's pretty neat that you're able to do that, because that's so G1 styled. Okay, and then what you want to do is you move the waist piece hinge, and then you fold up the feet, fold down the toes. Okay, the legs are going to rotate this way, and they are, make sure the thighs are squared up, and they're going to combine, tab in, and then you're going to squeeze everything, if you can, in between the shoulders. I don't know how to do that seamlessly, but you need to squeeze them like this, and then just tab that chest back onto the feet. And then you close his rear end, his glutes, and then you fold the arms this way. And here's what I'm talking about. Like I said, this could have been fixed with a hinge in robot mode, and a hinge right here would have been nice. If they made the fist separate pieces and they could have folded inwards like that, that would have closed up that gap. Problem solved. The wheels, fine. There's probably no way to hide the wheels in robot mode. Okay, I'll give him that. But these fists sticking out, as well as a bunch of other kibble, I mean, that's just inexcusable. We're paying for engineering, right? Engineering's just not there. Okay. And before you start commenting that I'm just whining about this figure, it's a core class figure. I get it. But like I said, you know, core class figures right now in Manila cost about what? $17, $18? In your neck of the woods, they're probably going to cost like $14, $15. So it averaged what? $15, $16 for this figure? I mean, the engineering on this one was pretty solid. It had its issues with tabbing and all that, but I mean, stop telling us there's no budget. Get the budget and charge us for it, instead of just not having the budget and charging us as though you put so much budget in it. So anyway, here's the car mode. It actually rolls pretty nicely. It kind of looks like how he did in the movie, but there's a lot of sharp edges here and there. That's just, I don't know, he was a lot more smoother, if I remember, in the movie. And again, there's just so much going on, so much wrong stuff around the back area. And so for comparisons in vehicle mode, here is the Titan's Return Wheelie. And look at that. Look how compact the design of this one is. It's hidden all the parts. And this engineering is, I feel, inferior to the engineering they had on this one. But look at that. Here is the DNA design version, and even the DNA design does it pretty nicely. It's a very solid looking alt mode. I mean, sure, it has gaps here and there, the wheels don't work, but look how well they hid the hands. And that back part, a lot more solid looking than the Hasbro version. And then finally, here is the accessory that came with Grimlock. Look at that. Yeah, obviously he's a lot better in terms of alt mode. I mean, yeah, sure. Anyway, don't need that. Okay, so yeah, it's got some flaws, but it's okay as a wheelie figure. I mean, even in alt mode, it's okay. But I honestly still enjoyed this figure more than this figure. He's definitely more accurate, definitely more wheelie looking, if there's such a term. He looks closer to how he did in the movie, but just very disappointed with the way it turned out. I mean, on paper, I'm pretty sure they had a lot of ideas, but then again, they're going to give you that excuse that budget constraints and all that. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing budget constraints. Just get the budget. Is it an epic fail or an epic win? I'd like to say it's a fail, but it seems like it's the best looking wheelie we have so far as a Generations figure or a Studio Series 86 figure. So, okay, it's acceptable. It's not great, but it's not completely horrible. I'm going to give the figure a 6.5 out of 10. I was going to give it a 7, but very disappointing. 6.5 I think is more than fair. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Studio Series Core Class Wheelie. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.